Tonight, we are within a week of the end of the regular session in the state capitol. Lawmakers in Juneau are still working on massive bills, from education funding to the overall budget and more. Now, keep in mind, while a budget must be passed, this is the first regular session of two as part of the 34th legislature. And bills that don't make the cut before the 21st of May, the last day, well, they aren't totally off the table. But these 20 senators and 40 representatives from across Alaska still have a lot to do as we approach that looming deadline. Now, joining us live from Juneau tonight is Corinne Smith. She is a Capitol reporter for the Alaska Beacon and has been in Juneau tracking all that is going on there. First, what have you been tracking this week in particular as lawmakers get down to the wire, Corinne?
Yeah, so happy to join you. Thank you for having me. I'm speaking to you outside the Senate chambers, which is a little bit more quiet today. They've taken care of their business of today, whereas on the House side, it's definitely busy. A lot of floor debate and bills are being debated and passed or voted on over there. But this week, I've been focused on election reform, a major bill passed in the Senate there, making a wide variety of changes to the election system to make things more streamlined and more accessible to voters. Also following child care tax credit bills working through the House. And then, of course, we are all waiting for news on education funding.
Yeah, that's something everyone is really watching closely. Lawmakers are working on multiple policies at once, major ones at that. That education funding that you mentioned, the budget. What are you seeing as priorities as we move toward the final days of this session that maybe stand out but aren't something that are or aren't things that are necessarily at the forefront all the time?
Well, one piece that is interesting, and it's around education funding, and we are waiting on the governor on that bill, House Bill 57. But the legislature, both the House and Senate, passed a funding measure to pay for part of that bill, and that's SB 113. It's actually a corporate income tax that would tax digital businesses or businesses like Amazon and Netflix that are doing business online and serving Alaskan customers to try to capture some of that corporate tax revenue. They say that would raise $25 to $65 million, and that would pay for part of the education bill related to reading improvement grants and also to expand career and technical training. And that bill passed already and is also on the governor's desk. So that's kind of an interesting one. They tied those two pieces together, but we'll see what the Governor Dunleavy decides on that one.
The real quick last question, Corinne. You've been in the Capitol building day after day. You've been talking directly with lawmakers. We are getting down to the wire. What can you tell us about how they're feeling right now?
Well, this is my first session and first time covering the Capitol, but I'm told it is a little bit more calm. It's a little bit more kind of I guess collegiate, less crazy, they say, and things are kind of negotiating and coming down to the wire here. But lawmakers are really waiting for the governor's decision whether or not to veto that education funding bill, and that deadline is Monday. So if he were to veto the bill, lawmakers would have to work quickly if they were to come together for an override vote. That would require a majority of 40 legislators out of the 60. So they're definitely concerned about that one. Others say they don't want to discuss a veto until it's in front of them. But I would say education funding is definitely front and center.
All right, well, Corinne Smith with the Alaska Beacon coming to us live from Juneau tonight. Thank you so much for the insight and your time this evening.
Thank you. Thanks.